And we are live.
And this has been a weird couple
Oh,
of days.
we're not quite live.
Oh,
We're live.
Oh, make up your mind.
We're live. We're live. We're live. Here we are. And it's just Hen.
Hello, everyone.
Hi.
Welcome to this amazing event.
Sorry, no one say it. No one say it. I think let's get some people in. But yeah, so for
Okay.
people who'd be watching,
If
post-
someone can watch the stream on their phone, then you can see who's coming in.
yeah. So just for everyone who'd be watching this post stream, so yeah, who will be waiting for everyone to come in right now. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's just like the pre thing. But yeah, I think Stride, I lead on to you while we wait for more people to come in. So what were your thoughts before we get into the main bit?
I'm stunned actually. I'm very excited about the title and about the video. I'm looking at it on my computer at the moment. It's crazy. I love it. The Rings of Power. Just that phrase alone is amazing. And I love the video, the music, the artistic style, the colors, everything. I'm kind of like having goosebumps still. How is everybody else feeling about this?
I mean, it's like, a second Christmas. I'm super, super excited. This is
Mhm. I think this
It's
is
my
the first
third
time.
Christmas.
This is the first time ever we can say hi to the live audience. So hi,
yes.
Nef,
Hi, everybody.
Burton,
Hi.
Hello,
Everybody
people.
watching.
Rory, Valinor, yeah, so many people here. We're just going to wait for numbers to come up. We'll also as you can see we do have it on screen right now. As we start, Stride, do you want to introduce everyone? Live stream.
Oh, maybe we should just wait like half a minute for the introductions because we're getting another co-host.
Sure. Perfect. Okay, so yeah, this basically is so funny around this as well for everybody not watching because we did actually put a tweet out earlier saying that something big came in our inbox, and this has happened about a few hours later. So yeah, that is pretty great. So just waiting for more numbers to come in. Yes, we will have the video being played with audio on screen. Just waiting just for a few more people. But Hen, how crazy have these last few days been?
They had been for different reasons. I mean, and now this was totally unexpected. I was very, very kind of surprised and suddenly very shocked, really, to see this. Wasn't expecting it in any way, and it's a pleasant surprise.
Indeed. And I think, some of you want to respond to the live chat? Some of these things. Yes, this is live, by the way, first ever live stream. We're just getting everything set up because this has literally just come out a few minutes ago. We're just reacting to it, same as you guys. But yeah, we're going to go through everything, and we're also going to give some of our thoughts and some little more scoops as well around some things, because there's some really interesting things that have come out. So yeah.
Yes.
Just
Oh.
wait. So
Hey guys. What's up?
Hi.
Hello, welcome.
yeah.
Thank you. So what's this
Um,
big deal that's happening right now? I just ran home and just am dying to hear about this.
Well, should we not show Nikki until everyone else?
Yeah,
Oh,
just
yeah.
stop
The
it.
live reaction.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
just
live
ran home
reaction.
for no reason. Okay, good. Excellent.
No. You are now here for a very good reason.
All right.
So everybody will be joining in us. So first of all, Carl, the thumbnail, is that done yet?
No.
Okay, do that whenever. So, okay, so we are live. For those who don't know, basically you're seeing Hen right now only, but everybody except me and Penguin will have our video chats on in a second. And yes, there has been a teaser trailer dropped by Amazon, and that go to Twitter, go check out of course Lord of the Rings of Prime YouTube channel. Everywhere there has been a release, and the title for this show is Lord of the Rings: The Rings of Power. Okay, Mark's only ruined it for Nikki, but you haven't seen the video yet. You haven't seen the teaser, but yeah, that is This is real. This is not a joke, as you say again and again. As you can see on screen right now, that's the teaser trailer, and we're going to play it in a few minutes when more people hear. But yes, there has been a teaser trailer. So I think before we continue any further, what's it called? Lakitya, what are your thoughts on the title first of all?
I think it's a little bit underwhelming as far as originality goes. But I really like it. Signifies that we're probably getting the majority of the Second Age presented, in length throughout this show. So I really, really like it. So if the show is strictly only about the late Second Age, there will be no reason for them to call it the Rings of Power. So I think there's quite a big emphasis on the forging as well, which makes me super excited. So.
And so someone's asked in chat who is the voice actress for the teaser trailer. That is actually Morfydd Clark, who is our Galadriel, which was mirroring the prologue from the Lord of the Rings Jackson film trilogy. So yeah, that is also quite exciting. And I'm sorry for any technical difficulties right now, because as we said, we basically, I think once Carl is ready, what we can actually show is that we actually got this title about a few hours before, but we couldn't confirm it, we couldn't verify it, and we thought even if it was true, we're sure Amazon had probably something better coming up their sleeves. But what happened was a Japanese Amazon, on the official Japanese Amazon store, someone released the picture, and it had the title on it. So yeah. Also, you can start to see everyone here. As you can see, this is happening live while this is all happening. But I think Ken, let's start off with the music so far. As of before, we will get into the actual trailer. We'll show the trailer in a second. Bear with us, we will. But Ken, with the music itself, that first 5 seconds of the music from that trailer, what do you think?
It sounds like The Ring. It's kind of swimming in kind of trailer type music, kind of choir, but there is definitely kind of those kind of chords that we associate with The Ring underneath it. So it's very. I would be a little bit in a way. I would be surprised if this was how it shows work. It could be. He's done the trailer to Unexpected Journey into the Return of the King, so could be. But it does emulate his. If it isn't him, it's emulating some of his fingerprints.
Yeah, because we know that Bear McCreary is also a part of the composing team for this upcoming Amazon show. That's another thing. So maybe he's done the fine tuning and the working maybe for this, and maybe Shaw's just given his input as well. So yeah, and I think when we are good to go, we will have the trailer. Please, Amazon, don't take this video down. I think we all hope that doesn't happen. And of course, there isn't any actual physical footage, and of course you can probably see Lakitya has arrived in the top right corner. We are still getting everything set up. But yeah, for those who have just come in, there has been the first teaser, and we finally have a title for the Amazon show, which is The Lord of the Rings: The Rings of Power. So I think that is Nikki, I think you're probably hearing this. This will be your first ever reaction to that. The Rings of Power. What do you think of that title, first of all, for this Amazon show?
I'm not surprised. It's kind of right up the alley of what I thought it was going to be. And as we discussed, both times we've discussed potential titles before, they were likely to use the Lord of the Rings just because it's already a well-known brand name that people know. Even if they haven't read the books, they still know of the Lord of the Rings. Even if they haven't seen the movies, they still know of it. So yeah, I like it, and I'm also excited that the title is implicating the fact that we're going to be potentially, hopefully, seeing more than just one ring, which is very interesting because we all want to see that. So yeah, I like it.
Indeed. And I think we actually did via the 2 videos. Did anyone guess it?
I think
I
Kyle
think we
did.
did.
I think we
Yeah.
did. Yeah, we were really close. That if not exactly, then really close. Yeah.
But we were much more
Yes.
creative than Amazon, though, I must say.
Well, yeah, this is the safe choice, and so we're all kind of like, okay, well, we've got the safe choice, so let's try to go out there and think of more creative titles that they could be using.
Yeah. I think
King of the
Aragon's
Bling.
Origin was the best one.
Yes. It's certainly not. Yeah. Hey, it's more
To
original
me, it
than
was the Blood of
that
Numenor.
round
I actually like that one. The
Oh, yeah,
most
that one
Blood
was
of
fine.
Numenor was awesome.
a bit gruesome, but you know.
Hmm.
But I really
I-
don't like the repetition of the word rings. Like it's the Lord of the Rings,
Yeah.
the Rings of Power. That sits a little bit too close together for my taste.
Yes.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just
Um,
feel like it sounds like a chapter. Like,
I
Yeah.
kind of wonder if this is just the introductory title. You know, they're saying Lord of the Rings of Power. Then as we get closer, all the marketing is really just going to call it the Rings of Power. Kind of like how
Okay.
we call it Rogue One, not Star Wars Rogue One or Star
Oh,
Wars
yeah.
Mandalorian. It's just a
A
Mandalorian.
Star Wars story, the Rogue One, yeah.
Yeah,
but
let's
what if
just
this is a
designate-
title of just the per season? So this is the Rings of
Yeah.
Power, and then they have something else. The Lord of the Rings, something else. The Lord of the Rings, something else.
I think it's more
I don't
likely
think-
to go with the Rings of Power subtitle than
Oh.
Lord.
Yeah, I don't think it's
New
a
subtitle.
subtitle. I really don't think. We had this notion that there would be a different title, but it's the Lord of the Rings dot the Rings of Power / season 1.
Yeah.
It's not the Lord
Yeah.
of the Rings / season 1 dot the Rings of Power.
Everybody,
Which
Jeff Bezos just tweeted. Did you see that?
Oh
Oh,
my
did he?
god.
I mean, that was like 38 minutes ago, but he.
the Dark
you
Lord
gotta
says
see it.
He's all.
Well, he's probably in space or something, so it took time to post.
I really like it though because it's printed on. I mean, like it's on wood. Looks lovely.
So what are we waiting for? I haven't seen this yet, so this will be my live reaction to all of it.
You know, we can
Just
we
wait for
can
Kyle.
watch- Why don't we play it?
I'm gonna play it
so
right now.
they
I'll
can
play it.
react, and then we can play it every 10-15 minutes and
Sure.
discuss it. Just
So-
people coming
So,
in and out of
Everybody mute themselves and we're going to play the trailer.
Yes.
Wait a minute.
Three rings for the Elven Kings under the sky. 7 for the Dwarf Lords in their halls of stone. 9 for mortal men doomed to die. 1 for the Dark Lord on his dark throne in the land of Mordor, where the shadows lie.
Yeah,
Very
just play
nice.
it. Why not?
I like it. The suspense is killing me now. If it wasn't before, it is now.
This is so
All the
awesome.
hype. And I just have to say, like, the pronunciation of Mordor, that
Yes.
sounds so good.
That was perfect. Yes, I agree.
Ah.
And also,
I'm happy that the first voice that we are hearing is Galadriel. Like that's just another nice nod to what we already have to the legacy of the movies. So really good. I think so far what they did with all the tweets, like 2 years ago or whenever it was, and so far, it's not like quality over quantity so far with the marketing.
Certainly, there is no quantity to speak of yet. But I really, really like this tribute to the prologue to Fellowship of the Ring. It's stunning. It's lovely. I love it.
I'm disappointed
Mhm.
we didn't get to see any clips of anything from anything of the shooting, but
Yeah. But not
we couldn't
surprised, I
expect
suppose.
that this
Yeah.
early. It's too soon for that. So this is good enough. I'm happy.
And should we also react to the making of it?
In a bit, because the first thing, next bit I think we should talk about is how do you think Morfydd Clark is going to be? What the voice was like so far as Galadriel.
I told a friend I think it's lacking a bit of contralto heft. It's a bit high, in other words, kind of lilting. But I like it. She does the language well.
It's not as magical as Kate Blanchett in the beginning of The Lord of the Rings: The Fellowship of the Ring, but then again, she's younger as well. So the fact that she has a lighter, younger sounding voice that isn't so
Yeah.
burdened with life makes sense. So
Yeah,
I think it works.
I much prefer her using her actual voice to her trying to consciously, emulate Kate Blanchett's very
Yeah.
low voice. So I
Yeah.
think that was a good choice, and she does sound much more ethereal than she does when speaking in interviews and stuff. So
Mhm.
I think it's a really nice combination
yes.
of everything. So what do you think, Fellowship? You haven't given us an opinion yet.
I think the first thing I've noticed is when we actually get into the actual bit of it is, and actually it was not actually part of all what we've shown so far, is that this is a show that's going to cover everything. I think that is what it looks like. And of course, we released Isildur. Isildur is going to be in this show. Celebrimbor is going to be in this show. And I think, because we reported both their involvements, I think that should have given a hint anyways. Do you think we are starting to see maybe something happening? Anthology, timeline, time compression? I think that's the main question here. But overall, I think, of course, it's really hard to match Kate Blanchett for Morfydd Clark, but I think she will live up to the role. I think she will do a good job, and I really like the way that, for example, we'll get onto in a bit. Mortal men doomed to die. Well, Carl, do you want to go to that bit right now? And let's just quickly play that part and let's see the animations that happen then.
9 for mortal men,
Actually, not
doomed to
animation.
die. 1 for the Dark Lord on his dark throne.
Okay, pause it now. So I think there was 9 for mortal men doomed to die, and then we've got some water flowing over that. And I wonder what that could be insinuating. I think that's the best. That's my favorite thing out of this teaser trailer, to be honest.
Nothing like a little bit of foreshadowing.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
it seems like the story we all know. That's the vibe you get. I'm really hoping we get to see the Nazgul.
Yeah, me too. The origin of the Nazgul, that would be great.
Yeah. 'Cause I've always wondered, like, where did these kings come from? Like, who are they? What did they do before this? It's just interesting to me.
I don't know. I
Yeah,
kind
sure.
of, I hope they leave some mystery in the setting. One of the things I loved about the books, just the narrative itself, is how they allude to things that some characters in the books may know of. Like they mention, oh, the cat's a Queen Beruthial, and of course, Boromir would get that. Other people would say, what? Or when you're watching the movies, Theoden yells, "For the Eorlingas!" And you may wonder, what's Eorlingas? They never explain that, but
Yeah.
to these people. So I think one of the challenges, and especially in a lot of modern storytelling, is you want to answer everything. Original Star Wars, the Force, oh, it's just an energy field, and wow, that sounds cool and mystic. Then you watch the prequels, oh, it's midi-chlorians, these little things that live in your cells, and it just kind of robs the wonder of it. Leave
Yes.
things unexplained, leaves things clear, allude to stuff, mention stuff that characters in the movie might know, and don't go overboard showing and explaining everything.
Yes.
Major pet peeve I have with modern media.
Yeah,
That
me
is-
too. I agree.
That is true, but I don't need to see everything about their, gradual downfall. But I would like to see like a little snippets of what they were like before, or just include them in some way, not just have them be these, silent, menacing figures in the background. I want just a little more personality from them, or a little more
least
substance.
A couple of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, at least for a couple of them.
We are going to see the rings of power, so we have to see who gets the rings. And I think that I agree that we should definitely leave some mystery to it, or they should rather leave mystery to it. But I think we are bound to see at least some of the ring rates. Like the Witch King is probably the top pick to be. I'm kind of 50-50. I want him to be a mystery, but I still want to see him, how he was before, and to how he gets the ring and how it all goes together. So
I think a way that they could
put
handle
them at
that
least
would
and
be.
see how it goes.
Sorry. I think a way they could handle this would be to show him prior to him being corrupted, then having him disappear for an amount of time, and then him emerging as the Witch King. So it's like, okay, he probably died, what happened to him? And then all of a sudden we have this really, Sauron's lieutenant kind of figure.
Interesting. And I think, Carl, if you don't mind, if you could quickly go to the website and get the article, because what we have in our hands, courtesy of some leaks, we have the official press release that we can show you guys from Amazon, and it's on our website, fellowshipoffans.com. So I'm going to bring that up for you guys now.
Oh, is
and then
it
should we-
live? How exciting!
Yes, we made it live a minute ago. So yes.
Yay!
The official press release is here, and we have it. So okay, so it's meant for the website. So it's got for the website. So we were just going to get that up for all you guys 1 second. And so yeah, this is where they basically go into more detail around the show. So once up. So Carl, because you have it, do you want to read through it quickly?
Yeah, do you want me to just read that quote?
Yep. Just read through the main bit.
Okay, see if I can see it here.
Let's start off with Culver City.
Sorry, I can't read it. I'm sorry. I can't see it from
Okay,
here.
I'll read it then. Okay then. Culver City, California. Prime Video's The Lord of the Rings of Power officially has a name, and it hints at what's to come. The television series' complete title is unveiled today, and the significance behind the subtitle will not be lost on J.R.R. Tolkien's fans, foreshadowing an epic story that welds the major events of Tolkien's Second Age together, the forging of the iconic rings. The multi-season drama The Lord of the Rings of Power will premiere exclusively on Prime Video in more than 240 countries around the world in multiple languages on Friday, September 2nd, with new episodes available weekly. This is a title that we imagine could live on the spine of a book next to J.R.R. Tolkien's other classics. The Rings of Power unites all the major stories of Middle-earth's Second Age, the forging of the rings, the rise of the Dark Lord Sauron, the epic tale of Numenor, and the last alliance of elves and men, said showrunners J.D. Payne and Patrick McKay. Until now, audiences have only seen on screen the story of the One Ring, but before there was one, there were many, and we're excited to share the epic story of them all. Just as so many elements of the show itself were handcrafted, Prime Video chose to physically forge the title in a blacksmith foundry, pouring fiery molten metal into hard, hand-carved wooden ravines shaped to the letter forms. The process was captured in slow motion for a live-action video, which features voice-over narration of lines from Tolkien's famous ring verse, describing the intended recipients of the 20 Rings of Power. The bespoke title treatment appears crafted in a silvery metal with the lines of Elvish script inscribed on the crest of each letter form. Lines from Tolkien's ring verse, yes, we all know them. And now I think this is a good point, Carl. Should we show the behind-the-scenes making from IGN? So I'll give you a minute.
Yeah, just send me the
to
link.
get that
I'll
up.
bring it up.
Yep, so sure. So there is the official press release. So that what that does show clearly is that we are getting this entire second age, and I think that is the really important thing that's been established here. And before we get the title, just I think Ken, what are your thoughts on that?
Moment. My thoughts. I'm very. It's a lot to unpack. The thing that I'm thinking of. Okay, all these events. Will it be an anthology? I guess is my big worry because I don't like anthologies.
I think is looking like maybe it's a time compression or they've merged.
I
the
think,
storylines.
yeah. I think
Yeah.
either it's a major time compression, or it's done with like flashbacks and things, kind of leaping back and forth across the timeline. Getting it all is very. That's a good thing in a way, you know. Like it would have been a shame to miss out on Celebrimbor, or to rush through his story to quote unquote get to the good parts at the end. At the same time, we need to see that the whole thing doesn't like crumble under the weight of what is it, 3,500 years of Second Age history. So yeah, it's a tricky thing to. Very ambitious. That's good. Very good. So yeah.
So Kai, is the video up ready?
Yeah.
Perfect. So play it, everybody.
Hey, everyone, mute yourselves.
It looks so lovely, and can I just say I love the font. I really like that the font is not exactly the same as the movie trilogy's font. This one looks a little bit more dorky to me. I kind of like it, so I don't know.
Yeah, the font is. It has a similar vibe, similar enough, but it's a bit different.
Yeah, and then in the press release themselves, they did talk about they welded it, maybe mirroring the Great Imogen creating the rings of power. So I think that's a nice little touch that they have done there as well. And I think yeah. So Nikki, is that your first reaction to that video as well? So what do you think?
Sorry, I completely missed the entire thing. I thought you were showing the video that we
Yes,
just
yeah,
saw.
we've showed it now. So you've seen the video.
Yeah.
So what's your thoughts on it? Because I think that's your first time seeing the video.
I like it. Like I'm disappointed that we didn't get to see anything from the actual show, but apart from that, I like it.
And I think overall, I think Ken, I think you wanted to touch on that a bit, didn't you?
I just think it's nice that they've done something specifically for the trailer, you know? They've actually they had to shoot it, and render it, and you know, and I like that it's. I'm completely agnostic on the subject of it's done for real and not with pixels, but I do it's nice seeing this kind of macro photography. Last time it was in a movie, I think, was Tree of Life of Terrence Malick's. So it's always nice to see that sort of thing. It's very cool. Cool. Looks good.
I think the next bit this raises for all of us is most likely time compression. So what's our things on that? As our time compression, things are together, Celebrimbor and Isildur are happening at the same time, because from the mouth of the showrunners themselves, They want to tell the Forging of the Rings. They want to tell the Rise of Sauron. They want to tell the Tale of Numenor, and they want to tell War the Last Lion. So that is their focus for the show. And we both gave leaks about Isildur and Celebrimbor both together. So yeah, I think Carl, you've been doing a lot of the behind the scenes stuff. So what is your opinions on that? Starting off with that, what do you think we could be seeing?
Yeah, I mean the idea that we're seeing parallel timelines, or things moved up to a different timeline, is extremely ambitious. But I think it kind of is the best of both worlds, right? Like, if we're not going to get a separate series on the Forging era, this is the next best thing that we get to see the Forging as well as the events of Numenor at the same time.
It does present certain problems, of course, and I think when we first started mentioning this option of merging both time periods together, everybody was very, very skeptical. But I don't know. As for me, during this time I've kind of reconciled with the idea that they will be wanting to cover as much of the Second Age as possible, and they will be wanting to cover all of the spectacular moments, spectacular events. So I've given up on the idea that this show will be, faithful to a T to the source material in that aspect. So I think merging the timelines isn't the worst thing that can happen. I'm really excited to have Celebrimbor here, to have the Forging done justice, hopefully, to have it done like during a longer amount of time. So.
Because actually, Carl, do you want to pull up the things from our mid-Forge and Second Age episode, if possible, please?
Sure.
And because I think that's where we can start merging some of this together. And I've just seen that picture of Jeff Bezos holding the Lord of the Rings, the Ring of Power. The true Lord of the Rings is holding that right now. But I think the main thing here is, okay, so I think Carl's got up on screen right now. So is that up for the stream as well, right?
Oh yeah.
So they filmed the filming of the Forge of the Rings in a very cool rocky chamber. So that is all we know, and we know that there is a Celebrimbor in season 1, and that a lot of the props department did do that. But then another thing is that we have Isildur in this show, and I think and we have the late Second Age, for example, that casting that sheet as well. So what's everyone's opinions on that?
It's
exciting. That's all I can say. I'm excited.
I just kind of wonder. It just seems like there's so much going on to have filmed. If they're, whether they're compressing the timeline or doing something kind of simultaneously, non-linear storytelling, it still seems very brief to already have done the Forging of the Rings right now. Yeah, I mean, you would think that that's something they would kind of build towards, but do we know who was directing those scenes?
I'm not quite sure we do.
Okay. Yeah. All right.
And I think a kind of problem with maybe for people who did want the mid-Second Age and the Forging of the Rings is that it's in the title, so it can't be the big event of the show, the Forging of the Rings, if you get what I mean. It has to be something else, and I think it just seemed like that we're going to get maybe what happens in this scenario that maybe they have pushed Celebrimbor to the late Second Age, the Isildur's timeline. Just try to, what would your opinions be on that?
Well, we also kind of forgot to mention to acknowledge the fact that we have those 2 first episodes.
Ken, do you wanna opinions on that?
Yeah. I think it's a reasonable device to use if you want that in there, and I think I definitely want that in there. I know a couple of others here do as well, and I'm sure a lot of fans do, as do the showrunners, because a popular character, Celebrimbor. Sure, I mean, it is in terms of like sticking to the canon and the chronology. Yeah, I guess it works for the plot. Is what I'm saying.
And Carl, should we again show the trailer again now? Everybody mute. We'll show it again for people.
Three rings for the Elven Kings. Under the sky. 7 for the Dwarf Lords. In their halls of stone. 9 for mortal men, doomed to die. 1 for the Dark Lord on his dark throne. In the land of Mordor, where the shadows lie.
Wow.
Can I just say that moment when she says doomed to die and then the water comes and just, sweeps
Yeah.
over the letters, that is pure perfection.
I think, yeah, I
Very,
think that
very nice.
again hints at what else they're going to go to, because you have with the title "We Forged the Rings," and you got hints of the Excalibur happening there. So I do think we're getting a lot of things together, and I think that is.
And you're definitely and you're definitely getting Howard Shore's kind of ring underneath really everything. That gesture is underlines the whole trailer.
And I think should we I was thinking the next thing we should look at is moving forward. So we've got the title now. What do you guys think of Super Bowl? Who wants to first? Not who you support. It's the possibility
Bowl.
of seeing something there.
What?
It's
Oh, you mean possibility
Oh.
of like releasing something?
Now we just want to chat
Oh.
about American football for a moment.
Oh
Well,
yeah, the
ho-
football.
but-
You just can't get away from that. It's just important.
After
Yes.
after the Wheel of Time revealed their little title animation thing, how long was it after that they put out that teaser trailer?
Ew. I have no idea.
Because we're probably looking at something.
I think quite a while.
Was it?
I would say quite a while actually. But then the Wheel of Time had released these sort of short clips like a year before the trailer was released. So
Right,
they
right.
released all sort of like props, shots and stuff like that.
Right.
And they were actual video clips, not just images. So I don't really think it's we can
You don't
compare.
have the same process. It's gonna be something
No.
different. It's gonna
No.
be very different. Like I
Mm,
mean, we're all fantasy people, but this is a different story. I
Yeah.
feel.
a different audience too.
Yeah, and a different budget.
Mhm.
So
Very much so.
at least so far, that could change, but it still is a very different budget.
With the, I'd say with as far as the marketing goes, Wheel of Time was like Lord of the Rings 2 decades ago. You really wanted to get the book readers on board. And so the marketing was geared towards getting them, talking to various influencers, community groups that were online and so forth, kind of like what Lord of the Rings did 20 years ago. But the internet and fandom was very different back then. Whereas now, Lord of the Rings and Middle Earth is a brand. So I'd say the marketing is going to gear not so much geared towards the book readers or the people that or that kind of people. It's really going to go towards that casual audience, the people that saw the movies, loved them, and by and large went on with their lives. They don't want nor need to rely on word of mouth like you would with Wheel of Time.
And just to answer Kyle's inquiry, the Wheel of Time released the logo at the end of June, and I think the first trailer dropped at the beginning of September, so
Cool.
or mid-September, somewhere like that. So that was 2 months and a half, I think. Quite a long time.
Gotcha.
And I think an interesting thing is what why start with Galadriel? What's the advantages of using Galadriel at the start for this? Because what happens if you made Celebrimbor do this? But I think the problem would be is we wouldn't know who like if it's actually Celebrimbor because we don't know the actor for him. But yeah, Ken, do you think it's important to have Galadriel do this?
You know, I'm kind of
Important for any number of reasons, I think, yes. Because Galadriel is a fan favorite, much more so than Celebrimbor. I mean, people know of Celebrimbor, but it's not, you know. It's a mirror image very much, I think, to Cate Blanchett's narration in The Fellowship of the Ring. It's a character that is present through the whole of the Second Age as opposed to just a part of it. You know. It's many, many, many reasons, and they're probably hoping to build a large part of the narrative around her. Or so we think. So yeah, and one of their bigger actresses, relatively speaking, you know, there's a lot of logic to be done to having Galadriel do it rather than someone else. And it's not revealing their hand too much because we know that she's Galadriel because she's told that to the press. So yeah.
I would like to also add something if you guys can hear me.
Yes, we can.
Yeah. Well,
I mean,
so Galadriel is one of
counterpoint,
the.
She sounds very different than Cate Blanchett, so
Yeah, because that's
it kind of makes you wonder. Okay, well, let's use Galadriel in the same role, but she's also gonna be almost entirely different than the Galadriel we're familiar with. But I guess
she has a different voice. I mean, it's difficult to, you know, it's very. There's not much you can do about that. It's like, you know.
Strider, were
That's
you
her
gonna
voice.
was Strider gonna interject something there?
Yeah, it's okay. Discord, you know. So yeah, I wanted to say that Galadriel
I'm
is
not
one
sure
of the
if
legacy.
Strider's thing is working.
It's
but,
where I can hear him just fine.
I can hear him, yeah.
Okay then.
Yeah.
We can hear him.
Please let the
Hopefully,
man
people in
finish.
the chat can hear me. Hopefully,
Yeah.
the people outside can hear me. So I wanted to say that Galadriel is one of those legacy characters. So she and Elrond, and you know maybe a couple of other people like Celeborn, are going to be the characters that that the casual fans are going to latch onto to kind of anchor themselves in the show when it starts. So that's one of the main reasons, one of the best reasons why, besides being it like sort of a homage to the movies and all that, that's also one of the main reasons why it was a great choice for her to be the first voice we hear.
What if it was Gandalf? I'm just throwing it out there. I mean, Ian McKellen has a great voice for that kind of stuff. He has no place here, but it would still work because people would recognize the voice.
Mm.
Oh yeah,
As in
he
like a trailer voiceover kind of thing. Like they could have used someone who didn't have anything to do with the show. You know how they always use that trailer guy. Yeah, that
In
could.
the 90s, yeah.
I think Ian McKellen narrated the famous Battle for Middle-earth game.
Strider's still speaking.
He was the one who narrated it, so, and it was amazing. And yeah, I could see that happening. Like, why not have him just narrate the trailer? That would also work. I would agree with that.
Yeah,
And yeah,
but
the
that
trailer
would-
guy was the guy who did I think he actually did the Fellowship of the Ring trailer. It's just not really good. But yeah, Gandalf could have worked as well. But I think Galadriel was the best choice.
Agreed.
Yeah, I agree. Mm.
Agreed. Guys, I have
Having-
to go because I have dinner to make. I just ran home to be part of this awesomeness.
Thanks for coming.
I'm very excited. Thanks for having me. Thank you, everyone. I cannot see the chat, but thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. So excited. Look forward to talking to you guys again soon. See you later. Bye.
Thanks for
Bye.
coming.
Hey,
Bye. Yeah, I think having Ian McKellen narrate the trailer would, put some false expectations into the heads of the audiences who don't know that he's not appearing in the show. So yeah.
Yeah, I did see some people on places like Reddit which only just now had realized that this is not a remake
Hmm.
of what had come before, and to have Ian McKellen in there would totally send the wrong message.
Yes, yes.
They used him in promotion for things like before, like games and
Mm.
those sorts of, but those usually were more closely related to
Mhm.
the premise of the films, and it no, yeah, it's better this way.
Mm.
And I do like what she does with the language.
Yeah, yeah. Again, the R's. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, she's done it.
But
She's done it quite
is-
well.
it-
You can tell that
it
they
is
put a lot of
ironic
emphasis on that.
because- Yeah, it is ironic because using Kate Blanchett's voice for Fellowship, which is what this is kind of like basing itself on in a way,
Mm.
was a very late idea, and I know that New Line didn't like it, so yeah.
Mm.
And I think another thing to go back to is I think should we actually look at the intricacies, because there has actually been quite a lot of talk on Twitter right now about the actual, I'm not sure if it's like the VFX work or like the actual how, yeah, like for example, as you can see, it's how it's all working. And also, what do you think this is actually showing in the trailer? Is it fires coming from Mount Doom? What do you guys think it is?
It's the forging. They're forging the rings.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could see that as a possibility as well. But the thing is, if you're forging the rings like that so early on, that's what I'm saying. It's so hard to just be a forging only show, because
Yeah.
that's already been hinted at from the start. I think it's something that's going to happen from the start. So I don't think we truly know how this is actually going to work out, because time compression, a time merge, people being moved timelines. I think all that is a real high possibility with this. Okay, here's the thing. What happens if Amazon keep Celebrimbor alive after the war of the after the Battle of the Gothlo and the sacking of Eregion?
No,
No, that's not gonna happen.
no,
Yeah. I mean,
no.
it's
Then what will the orcs use for target practice?
well. That's the. I guess
Yeah.
that's the
Well,
thing.
what will
I
they
think
wield
this-
as a banner?
Well, that's the thing.
I
Yeah.
don't-
As long
Something more-
as long as we get that storyline at some point, whether it's later
Yeah.
after the battle or whenever, I think that's what really matters, to tell that story.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
And-
even
and I
when
do
we were,
think-
do continue.
Okay. I think, people talk about this being the new Game of Thrones, and there's nothing more Game of Thrones, quote unquote, than having a very beloved character who you think is going to stick around die at like season 3.
Great point.
And Celebrimbor
Yeah.
kind of feels that feels that purpose, doesn't he? Like a good dramatic death is a good thing. The MCU have us forget.
I just see
But-
some. I'm just seeing someone in the chat saying, "I hope they don't utilize a lot of CGI." And I think what they've done with this title sequence is show us that they're not using a lot of CGI, which
That's
is
very true.
yeah, which is a really
And
nice
they
sign.
still achieved spectacular effect. It looks beautiful.
Yeah, it does.
And I just want to say, when we were still speculating if the show is gonna be solely centered around the forging, we kind of made different schemes of what each season could cover, and even in a 5-season show that would be just covering the forging of the rings and the subsequent war of elves and Sauron, the forging didn't happen until like the end of the first season or something like that. So I think even with the 5-season covering the forging plus the Last Alliance and the downfall and everything, I think the forging could still happen at the end of season 1. So showing something that happens in season 1 or hinting at it in the trailer, I don't think it's that implausible.
Do you think then that maybe this prologue talk that we've heard so much about over the last 3 years, do you think that's more first stage focused?
Some of it for sure. I mean, we do know that they've shot some scenes from the first stage and stuff, but maybe I think it's just gonna be setup, just building, just world building and introducing characters and stuff. I don't think it's gonna be 2-episode prologues solely centered on the first stage, though. No, I don't
Yes.
think so.
Although they're gonna have quite a bit of, because like we know there's a Kid Galadriel in that, and they're not gonna they wouldn't have credited her as part of the cast if she's just gonna be in a flashback for a few moments. They're probably gonna have
That's not true though.
a couple of dramatic scenes. So maybe
Yeah.
it will be a very prolonged period. Maybe it will be flashbacks. I don't
Yeah.
know, but there's gonna be a whole lot of stuff in this. I guess is the main
Yeah.
the main takeaway.
I mean, I think she could be in for a couple of minutes and still get credited and announced like she was. It was a similar situation with the Game of Thrones where our Robert Aramayo, our Elrond, he only appeared in a few scenes, but they announced his casting in quite a grand manner. And like altogether, all the flashbacks that he participated in, they didn't last for more than, I don't know, 3 minutes, 4 minutes. So I don't think this necessarily means that, for example, the child Galadriel will be the protagonist of the first episode or anything
Oh
like that.
no. But I think she'll be in it for more than just like a few seconds, like the
Oh,
Kid
yeah.
Bilbo, for instance.
Oh, okay. Yeah. That's for sure.
Apparently, she
Mhm.
filmed her scenes before filming actually begun as well down south. That's an
Yeah,
interesting.
and then
thing
but
to
then she
possibly-
reshot it.
Depends, yeah, depends.
Not
if
necessarily reshot it, just pick up shots. I mean,
pickup,
L-
yeah.
Yeah, but
Lots
I
of-
mean, it's more substantial than just stand here. We need like a quick shot for a flashback moment, so that it's a little bit more substantial than that.
not
It's-
necessarily, because we know that there was a role that got recast. So maybe they just needed to reshoot the scenes with a new actor or something.
Yeah.
Could be a number of reasons, I think.
Before we continue, Carl, could you replay the trailer again with the sound?
Certainly I can.
Just to do that.
I would love to.
Everybody mute.
It would be my
Yeah.
honor.
Three rings for the Elven Kings. Under the sky. 7 for the Dwarf Lords. In their halls of stone. 9 for mortal men, doomed to die. 1 for the Dark Lord on his dark throne. In the land of Mordor, where the shadows lie.
Can you play that back, but with the sound off, just kind of on a loop? I was just kind of looking when it says the 3 rings for the elves right there. It's kind of higher and looks almost airier. Then you zoom in on the fire in the canyon for the dwarves, kind of giving a, like you're inside this little canyon looking at it, gives a little bit of a claustrophobic feel. And then you zoom out for the water for the men. That's kind of interesting. I don't know if it really means too much in the big scheme of things, but it's a nice little change of pace for each of the major races.
I did not notice that. So.
That's really astutely observed.
You want to play the other one now?
The behind the scenes.
I would like to point out something that I've just the comments. Murdo Watson, also air, fire, and water for the Elven rings. So that could also be one of the nods
Yes.
of the trailer.
that's very well pointed out as well. Yeah, that's a really good point.
Also, I just want to say hello to the Broken Sword and Timbo Took as well, two good friends of the channel as well. So yeah, those are the two things. And also, interestingly, I'm going to send this if Carl could possibly get this up. We finally have the official poster for Rings of Power for this Amazon show. So it looks really darn good. I've just had a look at it now. Carl, could you get up on screen possibly?
Sure, one sec.
So yeah, we now have the first official poster for the Amazon show.
Where did you send it?
I sent it on general for source analysis.
Cool, got you.
So yeah, I think it's for full HD looking good. So
Can I just say that initially I thought it was sand dunes, when in reality it's wood. I love it. It looks so good.
Yeah, Lord of the Ring. Amazon's trying to cash in on Dune stuff.
Dune, yeah, indeed.
Hey, Hen, you are muted.
Yeah, it makes sense. I also thought it was sand. That's just because on close up, wood has wood shavings on it, so obviously it's gonna look.
Mhm.
And yeah, I don't think the idea of them riding June's coattails. It's nice, but yeah, no, not really.
And this is that humor thing that the kids are doing all the time.
Oh yeah.
So yeah,
I
here
think
on
it's
I don't
okay.
recommend it, no.
Yeah.
So here on
yeah,
screen
it
is the
will-
first-
It will go away.
I think a few days ago there was some. I think the picture of Tyrion was made into a rectangle format, which had Prime Video at the bottom. But here is an actual, the actual official one for Amazon's Lord of the Rings on Prime. So yeah, look at that. Looks pretty sweet.
Oh, well, this is up now.
Oh yeah, and then here is the next interesting thing. So this is the Japanese one, and we got this sent to us 2-3 hours before the official release, which is this happened, and we had this in our inbox, Twitter DMs for a few hours. We had no clue what this. First, we had to get it translated from Japanese, and then interestingly, we didn't release it, of course, but I think that tweet I made earlier for the 4K special around well, thank you tweet, we did probably, and we thought this was going to be maybe a few weeks away, and maybe this is just something that's come out accidentally and then they take down, but then the whole 2 hours later, I think was an hour or 2 hours later, Amazon just released this. Do you
And we
think
really
maybe they-
speculated. We speculated really hard. Is this like a desert? You know, it looks like sand dunes. Is this Harad? What was this
do you
representing?
think do you think maybe Amazon released it today because it accidentally got leaked 2 hours earlier?
No, I don't think so.
It didn't really make rounds. Like, you know, it didn't even appear on the Reddit, on the subreddit for Lord of the Rings on Prime, I think. So, who knows? But maybe.
Okay, yeah, sure. Yeah, but that's another interesting thing, and I think we're going to about wrap up here now because, of course, this is a lot to take in. I think should we start with Kyle, go to Hen, then Lakitia, Strider, Penguin? Thoughts on this teaser trailer, and this title? So, Kyle, starting off with you.
Yeah, it's a basic title. It's one of the ones we fully expected to be a very strong possibility. I like that it's not just the Lord of the Rings, that we have something to go along with that. But the title sequence itself is breathtaking, and Morfid's narration is spot on. And yeah, I'm thrilled with this.
Yeah.
Hen, your turn. Was it? Or you want to go
mine?
next?
No
Yeah,
worries.
because you're
What's that?
next in the. You're next, then it's Lakitia.
Okay, so I agree. The title is kind of like it's kind of to be expected, really. But and I think this is a very important point. It's very important not to judge shows by their title too much. Not even in terms of expectation of what you're gonna get. Like if we were taking titles literally, The Silence of the Lambs would have been a very different movie. So no, but
Oh my
um,
god.
so yeah, so I wouldn't judge too much from. It's always a good policy not to set your expectation according to the title, but the sequence itself is very nice. I like that they went to the trouble of making it.
Mhm.
Um, and um, and um, the vocals are nice. Yeah, it's very pleasing. The music, yeah, I like it very much.
So I'm still a little bit disappointed we're not getting the, Lord of the Rings, the King of the Bling.
Footage, yeah.
But maybe for a
Sure,
future
sure.
season, maybe for a spin-off. I'm still crossing my fingers.
Blooper reel.
Yes. Oh, no. It's got to be for something big. But apart from that, I find the title, I still find it a little bit underwhelming. I would have loved to see them go for something more extravagant, something with a little more flair. But here we are. It's a predictable title. Everybody's gonna know what this is about. In the end, just this phrase, the Rings of Power, has been used so many times throughout the film trilogy, like the Lord of the Rings, that everybody's instantly gonna know what this show is talking about. And the title sequence, like my predecessor said, is breathtaking. I think it's much more intricately done than, for example, the title reveal or the logo reveal for The Wheel of Time, for instance. This is truly a feast for the eyes, so it's made me like 10 times more excited than I already was.
Totally. And Strider?
Yeah, so for me, I love the trailer. I like the font. As I said, it's close to the movies, but it's different. They're doing their own thing, and I think one of the low-key best things about this is that behind the scenes, the making of the trailer, it shows us that they're willing to do the effort with the actual, costumography, scenography, not maybe to rely so much on the special effects. So I am very hopeful that trend will continue for the production of the show on its own, because we all love the realistic feel of the Lord of the Rings trilogy of the movies. So hopefully this is a sign that the show will have the same approach as well. And of course, overall, the tiny tidbits of the waves crossing over during the men part of the poem, and the narration, and the fact that it is Galadriel, I love it. And of course, the pronunciation of Mordor, it's amazing.
Yeah.
Well, I guess that leaves me. I'd say it's a very nice, very well done reveal trailer. As everyone has commented already, it's kind of an expected title. It's the logical title, so I'm a little disappointed in that. I was kind of hoping for something a little more out there, but hey, you have to appeal to everyone, and Rings of Power brings instant brand recognition. People have been noticing that there's actual letters, there's inscriptions on the logo. So I look forward to seeing people over analyzing those and zooming in and pausing and analyzing each and every to tell us, to confirm beyond any doubt that yes, this is just the ring inscription used once again. So that's it for me.
And on to Fellowship, what are your thoughts?
Well, I think this is. I like the approach Amazon have taken with this, because I'm just looking at the behind the scenes bit where they've actually, it's not CGI fully as people were thinking. I think VFX or whatever. It was generally they were pouring water and stuff like that over it, so it does really seem very interesting. And I think I really like the fact that that mortal men doomed to die and then the water splashing over. I think that was truly. I think that's the highlight for me for this. And I think another thing is that we are getting the entire Second Age. We're getting Celebrimbor, we're getting Isildur, all in the first season. And it's interesting to see how Amazon does approach that. So yeah, that's my final thoughts on it. I think that's just about it. I'm sure over the next day or two we'll have another just a pre-recorded panel out than another video out. I'm sure because there is still a lot to talk about. But I think that's just about it. Does anybody want to say their goodbyes?
Goodbye.
Goodbye, friends. See
Thanks
you
for joining
soon.
us. This was super fun. Thanks for, all your input. So, yay! Let's see what Amazon presents to us next.
Stream's over.